Hello, good day, good evening. Where are we?
Welcome. Where are we? Where are we? We are actually at one of the finest establishments in the world.
Yes, I think it might be. The Rudy.
Well, this world or
Rudy
indeed any other world, I think.
Yes,
really.
I think so. This one and the Humidor in the Sky. We're at the Conde Rudy Experience here at the...
Otherwise known as Rudy's Bar at the Marbella Club.
At the Marbella Club, the finest place to be.
Founded by Prince Alfonso von Hohenlohe.
Yes, what a world it is. And I actually have the elixir.
And Count Rudy, we've got to explain to the viewer. I mean, the viewer is an individual of immense discrimination and education and talent.
The two viewers we have.
But just in case you do not know who Count Rudy von Schönberg is, he has been working at the Marbella Club since 1853, isn't that correct, Max?
That's
indeed
correct.
Working here 100 and some, no, 1950 something or other. He arrived, didn't he? He was working at the Vierjahreszeiten in Hamburg, which was kind of rubbish compared to this. So he came here, he liked it, and he stayed. And you can still see him at dinner every night. Why? Only the other day he was having dinner with Placido Domingo.
But singing, chanting.
They were singing.
Anyway, but I have.
You have the Rudy's elixir.
Yes, which is partially behind Rudy's long life and enthusiasm for the job. Is the Count Rudy elixir, which I'm enjoying here. Which has got, what is it, mezcal and rose something and orange stuff and some sort of rice cake cracker thing.
Made for you by Nelson.
Which they're going to enjoy now.
That's the new. It's a sort of
it's delicious.
It's an entire banquet in one beverage.
I don't think it could be much better.
A banquet in a beverage. They should do that. They should sell those.
They should be the Rudy's elixir, a banquet in a beverage.
Yes. Anyway, what other experiences? There's the tomato experience.
Tastes alcoholic. I enjoy that.
But what do we got, viewer? We have got one of my favorite cigars, the Ramon Iones specially selected. No, I tell a lie. It is the Rey del Mundo Choix Supreme.
Which is a cigar of a similar size, so easy to
look at that.
What are you doing to it?
Absolutely.
The poor cigar. You're like torturing it. Oh, look at that flamethrower effects.
Sandalwood, vanilla, I got the lot. No, but they're differing fortalezza, aren't they? The Ramon Iones versus the...
They're very different.
They're probably the opposite ends of the scale.
Yes, but the grain gauge is not so much difference.
But it was Antonio Iones who refounded the brand in 1882, calling it King of the World.
Well, and what did I discover? That it was a German businessman, Emilio Olmsted, that supposedly created it in the first place. They were...
In 1848, the year of revolutions right across Europe. And the great Chartist demonstration in London, as you all remember, no doubt.
It's very funny because apparently they were the most expensive and most sought after Cuban cigars of that time, and now they're one of the more reasonably priced ones. Strange how things turn around. I mean,
and underrated. These are from 2008.
We forget to mention that. Of course, we wouldn't be smoking.
We wouldn't be smoking something that you can actually find in the shops. That would be counterintuitive.
So this is,
in as much as it would be intuitive and therefore counterintuitive.
This is a delicious cigar already, and you can taste. You know when you have the aged flavour.
Yes,
that's what I like.
It just
the
takes
mature
the edge off it.
Instantly, you can tell.
I find life tiring enough without having to wrestle the flavours of my cigars. But anyway, this is supposed to be our Christmas or autumnal broadcast, depending on when it comes out.
Hence the fire.
The fire, obviously,
is on fire.
The fire is on fire.
We're happy to see flames erupting.
And what else can we say?
I mean, such is life. We're here once again. We're very excited to be here. This cigar, I was going to say, is one of my favorites. Even the ones that have been rolled recently are very, very good. I can't get enough of them. And so it's an Amosto number 4, so it's a little bit longer than a Robusto.
48 ring gauge?
Slimmer than a Robusto as
48
well.
or 49?
48 ring gauge, yes. So a very, very good cigar. And to the naked eye, you can't really notice the difference between this and a Robusto.
Especially once the famous quality and consistency of the Cuban manufacturer has been taken into account.
Of course. I have seen Robustos of a 54 gauge before. So
but these are slightly box pressed in profile, if you've noticed. They
are indeed. It was from that full. Did you buy the full box?
I bought the full box, 2008.
You probably only got 4 or 5 left. Although I must admit, I was enjoying these for a while, and I had a dud one which was incredibly spicy and may well have been a Partagas D4 or Ramon Iones specially selected that kind of slipped in there and was misbanded.
Maybe it was in honor of Mr. Iones of 1882.
Exactly.
They put in a Ramon Iones. Well,
a
I have
delicious cigar.
got a drink called Smoke on the Water. Well, it's not actually called Smoke on
It's
the
called
Water. It's
something
called
else, isn't
Smoky
it?
Punch. Smoky. Boy, smoky.
Mm.
But I quite like Smoke on the Water because we are near water. We are near the sea.
Yeah, and ducks as well. There's ducks. Yes, at the Marbella Club, amongst all the other things you can come and do, like relax and eat and drink and smoke, and also train yourself to be a better person. But you can also see ducks in a pond, which we're very excited about.
I mean, it is. I mean, who needs the David Attenborough wildlife documentary when you have the Marbella Club at your disposal?
Yeah, that's very, very true. I mean, the ducks are of, and you've also got a small selection of lizards, if I'm not mistaken, frogs as well. So everything for the young David Attenborough is in the making. Very, very good indeed. You're going to now
read the entire
yes.
text
I think
of
you've
my
been,
Marbella
you've been,
Club
you've been
history book.
prompted to actually talk about where we are.
We are,
which
dear
might be
viewer,
rather important.
in the lee or shadow or benevolent climatic, whatchamacallit, of
Ex-
La
my
Concha
words,
Mountain,
exactly.
where slightly over half a century ago, more than that, almost 70 years or something now, ridiculous like that, Prince Alfonso drove a charcoal burning Rolls Royce from near Madrid, and he stopped here to visit his uncle Soriano, and he stopped for picnics under the pines, and the spot was so idyllic, viewer, that he opened what he knew as the Marbella Club Motel. It became very popular. The motel bit was dropped because
Maybe there's not quite as
chic as it could be.
Yeah. And it was more donkeys, wasn't it?
There was more donkeys
than Cadillac.
There was a nightclub actually at the it was called the Mau Mau. I think at the time there was the Mau Mau insurgency in Kenya, wasn't there, or something like that? Maybe it was, I don't know.
Something that's part, you know.
But there were, I mean,
possibly
there
from our time.
are so many stories, viewer, that are all contained in my fine book that is out of print and therefore unavailable.
Like everything.
So
else that
therefore we must promote it heavily because we
yeah.
only ever talk about rubbish that is
Is
unavailable.
this singular copy for sale, or is this?
This,
this is
last
the
time I saw
copy
one
of
on
the-
eBay, it was £1,400. I can't
Did
imagine
it
they
fetch
sold
that, or no?
No, I can't imagine it did. But let me stop and just pick a page at random. Ah, there's Audrey Hepburn. There's Gunilla von Bismarck. There's Count Rudy, he of the eponymous Rudy's Elixir.
Yes, I feel myself getting younger as I drink it.
And there is Princess Ira von Furstenberg.
So you've got everything there in that book, which is not available. For
Not
purchase.
available, not available
So
for sale.
Please enjoy that.
So please enjoy that. That'll be something to look forward to when you find a copy of that. But just in case you don't,
Yeah.
that was a sort of
That was
edited
it.
highlight.
You know, you
But
get.
they had so much fun here, viewer, that when the rest of the world was worried about the Cuban Missile Crisis, the parties just continued here and nobody cared a bit. And when the Duke of Windsor came to dinner, do you remember do you remember what I mean? You don't remember.
I remember that day very well.
We both remember that time as if it were only yesterday, which it probably was. The Duke of Windsor himself was invited by Prince Alfonso and was being taken down to dinner at the pool. And everybody, obviously being the Duke of Windsor, the most elegant man in the world at that time, was dressed quite formally. And the Duke was wearing an Hawaiian shirt, but he saw everybody looking very formal, and they saw him wearing his Hawaiian shirt, and he quickly scuttled back to his villa, changed into a jacket and tie, and then came down, by which time everybody else, seeing that the Duke was so informal, had taken their ties off and opened their shirts and taken their coats off. And so with a great flourish, the Duke undid his tie, probably fastened with the Windsor knot, however.
Yes.
And flung it into the pool to the rapturous applaud of the crowd. And Rudy himself danced a little jig of joy. Well,
Drinking the elixir.
Drinking the elixir.
Yes.
Yes, that probably is.
That's very good. You haven't told me that story
No,
before.
it's a
Amongst
great
all the
story.
other
I'm not even
stories
trying to put it
around.
in the book, but it is a true story. I mean, it's true as I was told it.
Yeah.
And then there was the famous rally that left in 1964 across to Africa.
Well, from the Marbella Club.
From the Marbella Club.
Brilliant. Was it like a fancy dress African party, and then they decided to lead an expedition?
No, just cars that would be worth tens of millions today. How's the cigar going?
Very, very well. Amazing ash, great construction.
What do you
It's
think of the
delicious.
flavours?
I think it's great because it's very, very light. You know, I like kind of light, mellow, sweeter flavors, as the viewer very well knows. I'm not averse to like a stronger cigar, and whilst being on holiday here, I have had some more powerful cigars, which I've enjoyed. But I always revert back to a sweeter, more aromatic.
Aromatic is for sure, isn't it? Really?
Definitely.
And I mean, I could be being suggested by the fact that there is Lapsang Souchong elixir in this elixir of elixirness that I'm drinking. It's called Smoke on the Elixir, this cocktail.
Smoke on the elixir.
Or maybe it's Elixir on the Smoke, I forget. But
Normally I would keep the ash on at this point, but because it's such a lovely carpet on the floor, I don't really want to end up dropping it on it. So
no.
I'm going to ash it. It doesn't even want to be ashed.
It doesn't
yet.
even want to be. Such is the construction.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, dear, oh dear. I don't have quite such elegant ash as yours. It's a little more striated.
Striations.
It's like a zebra. It's like a zebra. It's like almost they've made. It's
the
like
declivities and the striations.
But look at that. It's like a zebra. It's like somebody had been asked to cross a zebra with a cigar.
Yeah, that's what they've done. That was the
genetic engineering
Yeah.
that they were gone wrong in Cuba.
that amazing, the wild tobacco seed that ended up producing zebra-like cigars or cigar-like zebras. But yes, delicious, and I think it works very well in the Conde Rudy experience.
Or
alongside
Rudy's bar, as we now know it.
Rudy's bar, yeah.
Formerly known as the Champagne Room, where Prince Alfonso entertained Brigitte Bardot and Gunter Sachs.
There you go. I remember those days fondly.
You remember those days fondly? Do you know who Brigitte Bardot is?
Yes, I'm familiar with the name at least.
And Gunter Sachs?
Yeah, of course. I went to school with him.
You remember him from the days in St. Moritz?
Yeah. No problem.
Doing the Crest-Around and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh yes. Good
remember
man,
now?
the Crest-Around. Yes, that's good fun. That was,
Yeah.
Every so often, someone would lose a limb or a foot, so no problem at all.
No
just
problem at all.
pick it up, you know.
You see, viewer, we're sensible. While others are wintering in St. Moritz, risking life, limb, and reputation on the Crest-Around, we're here, if this indeed is winter, or autumn, or whatever other time of year you
It's very
prefer.
good. There's no windows, so no one can actually
It's
tell.
so
the
good, so
season.
nobody could.
You could film anything.
We
in here.
could, for instance, be filming this in the height of summer at August.
No,
it would
no.
be almost as if.
That's very far-fetched.
Could you imagine
That's very
filming this in the
far-fetched.
middle of August for Christmas?
Yeah, no.
But we could get away with it. I mean, luckily it's blowing a gale outside. And
Yeah,
the
it's
snow is
snowing and
falling,
hail and
Rudy is singing
fur
carols around the
coats
Christmas
and-
tree.
And
And we're back.
oh,
Oh, dear.
oh.
God, could
Yeah.
you imagine that? Who'd have thought?
a bit too much for me that.
It just occurred to me actually that we are in Andalusia, and this is also the home of Jerez, as I'm delighting in pronouncing it, Jerez.
Mhm.
And there was a Rodrigo de Jerez, who was one of the first returning explorers from the New World, who enjoyed smoking cigars, but terrified his local citizens of his hometown by breathing smoke out of his nostrils and his
Yes.
mouth. That he was actually locked up as it being the work of Satan.
Yeah, I remember you telling this to me.
But things have moved on a bit since then.
And this cigar has moved on a little bit since we left you. Still very sweet and smooth. I haven't noticed any strength develop. But what have you got? I suppose your palate's more refined than mine. I mean, I
My
like the
palate.
kind of smooth sensation, or your palate is really...
Smooth. You've got a lot of that kind of fragrance and aromatic sort of quality to it. It's a sort of, there's a light woodiness to it, but
There is, and also a little bit of a saltiness as well in the
yes, which I quite like actually. I mean, it's perfect, and it's a perfect. Oddly enough, and I know that this looks far too staged, but I think it goes so well with this sort of lapsang-based cocktail, smoky punch. Like I keep wanting to refer to it now as either boy smoky or smoke on the water, but smoky punch. No alcohol, but lots of flavour. And in a way, not unlike the cigar, in that it's got a lot of flavour, delicate flavours,
Yeah.
but you can enjoy it without the unpleasantness of having to kind of take a rest afterwards.
Exactly, yes. And also, if you wanted to be smoking an El Rey del Mundo on the go, you have the alternative of the Demitas, an Entracto size cigar that will take you no longer than 15 minutes, maybe.
Is it good?
It is also good, but the flavors aren't quite as nuanced. It's a bit more just kind of like, here's a bunch of flavor in a very short, time
And
space.
is it quite strong?
To be honest with you, I find it stronger than this, which
But
is
this
strange.
has 15 years of age on it.
Yeah,
not
there you
15.
go. It's not a strong cigar, the Demitas, but then also if you wanted to enjoy a Rey del Mundo for over an hour, you've got La Reina, which was the regional
You
edition.
love that.
smoked
What
with
about the
vodka.
Taino?
The Taino, that's, yes, you have one from the 90s, don't you? I got you from...
I think I do, and it
Davidoff.
is a very.
That's meant to be very good.
I mean, the Rey del Mundo viewer. Basically, what we're trying to tell you, viewer, is if you're looking for a fragrant, delicate afternoon cigar, such as we are enjoying this afternoon in Rudy's, before we recommence our Christmas or autumnal celebrations, depending on when this is being broadcast.
It usually involves sunbathing on the beach and
or,
swimming.
or Harvest Festival or whatever it is that we're attending. How's it going with your Rudy's elixir?
I mean, that goes well with anything, you know.
The Rudy's elixir, it goes
Whatever you
well
want.
with what's that
Goes well with
wonderful
life.
line from the Deer Hunter?
I wasn't
say
watching
no
it.
to champagne, and a man who says no to champagne says no to life.
Not alive.
But actually, if a man who says no to Rudy's elixir says no to life, except I have to say no because I can't drink.
Yeah, well, it's very good. I mean,
So I say
it's,
yes to boy smoky punch on the water.
Yeah.
Smoke on the water.
You're picking up most of the flavors that you miss out in your diet with cigars, aren't you now?
Yes.
You're enjoying dietary supplements and Cuban cigars.
Yes, I mean that viewer is the sure path to longevity.
Or the Rudy elixir.
Or the Rudy's elixir.
But
But
anyway.
if Rudy drinks this stuff, and I mean Rudy is possibly he's in better shape than I am, and he's approaching
great.
90,
He's
isn't he?
so good. I haven't seen him this holiday. So
Yes, you have, haven't
I
you?
come across him?
I think you might. No, you haven't. Freddie, you've seen him, haven't you?
I've just not been in the correct places, obviously.
No, we weren't invited to that famous dinner with Placido Domingo or whatever it was.
I guess we weren't.
Anyway,
But anyway, I suppose we've got to go now because we've got some. What have we got? Some relaxation to be
we're
getting on with.
going to be busy relaxing a little later in the day.
Yeah.
So viewer,
You're very kind. Fighting
thank
the
you very
virus.
much. Fighting the virus one corona at a time. I'm sorry to say, still.
Still, and we'll see you next time.
All the best.